for design of load-bearing tall wood studs for wind and gravity loads. And I'm hoping you're here because you've already read the description, so I won't take time to read the description to you, but maybe we can look at some of the learning objectives for today to summarize that. So we want to look at ASCE 716 today and understand a little bit about analyzing wall framing as part of the main wind force resisting system, and also looking at analysis using out-of-plane, component, and cladding wind pressures independent of gravity loads. And we'll look at ASD load combinations from ASCE 7 that are used for bearing walls for light frame wood construction. And we'll be referencing several standards today, including the IBC, the IRC, AWC's NDS, and Wood Frame Construction Manual. And we've obviously already mentioned ASCE 7. So look for this to be as interactive as possible. So if you have questions along the way, as Maria mentioned, please feel free to add those to the Q&A box as we go. Maria introduced me, but I'll just point out my email address is there on the slide that's in front of you. So if you have follow-up questions about this topic after today's webinar, I'd be glad to deal with those via phone or email as well. So there's my contact information for you. So the topics that we'll look at, this will serve as our outline for today. We'll first talk about the reference material that we'll be utilizing throughout the day. Again, I mentioned the IBC, the IRC, AWC's NDS, and Wood Frame Construction Manual. Obviously, ASCE 7 is a big part of this for the wind load analysis. So after we talk about some of that reference material, we'll get specifically into a tall wall wood stud example. We'll talk about the assumptions that go into our example for today, the loads and load combinations that we'll be evaluating, and then go step by step through the stud design process using the NDS. So that's our outline, and we'll have a couple of breaks, as Maria mentioned, along the way that'll give you a chance to digest some things and and take a little break as well. So the first reference that I'll mention, and I thought what I'd do, and sometimes the links don't show up very well in the PDF. So let me chat this out to you in the chat box. This is a link to the example 2015-2018 structural wood examples document that was co-developed by AWC and ICC. And the reason we have both 2015 and 2018 on the cover is because we try to get it up to the 2018 standards where possible, and for all but I think one or two examples in this book, it's backwards compatible to the 2015 edition of the standards as well. So I think there's one roof nailing example in the document that deals with some of the newer fasteners called roof sheathing ring shank nails that might be specific to the 2018 code standards and codes. Otherwise, the other 22 examples can be solved either with the 2015 or 2018 codes. So the examples look at wood members, connections, and shear walls. They're, again, if you're interested in these example problems, they're available either at ICC or AWC's website. There is also an errata, and I'll go ahead and drop that link into the chat box as well. The reason I mention that is because a couple of the areas of the example that we'll look at today, there will be some highlighted text, and that's where I've picked up some of the errata after we presented this last year, about April, I believe, of last year. We presented this and picked up a few things that needed to be corrected. So those changes are available as well.